Welcome to Brand Champions, where we highlight leaders in the branding industry who are making a big impact. I'm Morgan Young, and I'm joined by our host, Janine Hogan. Janine, thank you for being here.
Thanks, Morgan. Happy to be here.
Yes. So will you share with us some misconceptions about branding in the industry?
Yeah, so I think the misconceptions really come from the fact that people think that branding is just your logo and the colors that you use, but really it's so much more than that. It's the story that you're telling, it's how you communicate with your target audience, and it's also the experience that your prospects or your audience has with you. Those are the things that really make a brand memorable. It's how you feel when you're interacting with a brand versus just what you see. But the message and the visuals need to align to help to tell that story.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for sharing that. And to tell a little bit more about branding and the industry, we have some special guests with us today. We have Yogesh with SimplePlan Media, and we have Femi with DOKUNVI. Thank you so much for being here. Hi. Janine, you have some questions for them,
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Yes, I'd love to talk branding with you both. Yogesh, if you could tell me, what are some of the mistakes that you see companies doing with their branding?
100%. I think people tend to be a lot personal with branding, which I feel it's not right, because when you build a brand, you don't build it for yourself, or as an agency, we don't build a brand for ourselves or for our customers as well. We have to build it for the end consumers that will be interacting with that brand. So that's a very important misstep that a lot of founders take, that the brand becomes very personal to them. So they involve their personal biases into how they want the branding to look like, which I think is not right, because you need to analyze your audience, you have to study your audience, you have to map out your personas, and then take all the decisions for the branding based upon them. Because at the end of the day, they have to feel something with the brand. And if 10 people feel 10 different things when they see your brand, then you don't really have a brand, right? It's everyone needs to feel a similar feeling when they interact with the brand. So yeah, that would be my answer.
100% agree. So what advice would you give a new brand that's just starting out?
I would say keep it simple. As the name suggests of SimplePlan Media, I would suggest keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Do something that is right for your end consumers. Don't get too involved in your personal biases, because that's the most common thing that happens. If you don't want to hire an agency, like I wouldn't even recommend. If you're bootstrapping, you don't need to hire an agency. Just go out, have an app like Canva, just design something very minimal and just launch the brand, test out the waters, see how people are responding to your brand, right? If your services are even pitched to the right audience, if you're targeting the right consumers, if you have a product market fit, and then we can talk about branding in detail. That would be my advice.
Great advice. Thank you. And Femi, question for you.
Yes.
What are some of the trends that you're seeing in branding right now that can really help make an impact?
I would talk about mostly food industry, because I mostly work in food industry, and I have this agency that help African brand expand. And I think firstly it's about everything that is more cultural, that would create an emotion link with the people and the brand. So in my industry, we think about more sharing history about the culture, where the product come from. In my industry also, we have packaging that help tell the story. So we have everything about brand that is eco-responsible, brand that really with their branding will share the stories about people that are doing the work behind. So I will talk about cultural relevance and emotional connection and cultural, I think, story around the brand.
Amazing. So with your own brand for your business, what would you say, what are you doing to help your brand stand out from competitors in your space?
Yes, at DOKUNVI, we specialize in supporting African and Afro-descendant agri-food brands to expand internationally. So we will mainly focus of how uniquely we combine deep cultural storytelling with strategic export facilitation, positioning African brand as both premium and purpose-driven. So what make a difference with us, with our competitor, is really how we will ensure that people really understand the cultural storytelling about our project and help this brand not positioning on the global market, but on the premium and purpose-driven market.
That's awesome.
Yes, beautiful. Thank you guys so much for coming on, sharing a little bit about yourselves and your expertise. We appreciate your time.
Awesome. It was a pleasure to be here. Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
Of course. And viewers, thank
you.
you so much for tuning in to another episode of Brand Champions. If you want more information about our guests or about our sponsors, Teal the Agency, you can head on over to dailynewsnetwork.com to learn all the information. We look forward to seeing you in the next episode of Brand Champions.